Welcome to the Den of Tools.
Howdy ho, guys and gals, it's Red, your friendly neighborhood tool bear, back again here in the Den of Tools. And today we're here to talk about Tekton, but not just anything from Tekton. We're here to talk about one of the biggest topics at Tekton. People have been excited to hear about this, and that is, of course, the rolling tool cabinets that Tekton leaked earlier this year. They've been teasing us with it. We've been wanting to see more about them. There hasn't been a whole lot. Well, the bear got on a phone call with Tekton, had a chat with them. Actually, turns out a buddy of mine who lives in Livingston has been looking for a tool cabinet. He decided to go with Tekton. So I got a chance here. He actually had it shipped to my house because he's a good guy. So I've actually got my paws on it. We're going to do a walk around, a first look at a Tekton tool cabinet. This one specifically, the 48 by 24 inch red tool cabinet. Now they come in red, they come in black. Those are your two choices. You got 5 options. They've got the 30 by 24, the 36 by 24, the 48 by 24, the 60 by 24, and the 60 by 30. So you got all sorts of options here. You got single bank, you got dual bank, you got small, medium, and large. Well, anyway, let's jump in it. Let me give you a quick walk around, and then we're going to talk about these tool cabinets and where they fit in the tool cabinet spectrum. And here we have it on the ground, ready to unbox here, uncrate, if you will. I always love seeing a new player enter the market, and Tekton they've been killing it with their hand tools. Love to see them expanding the line. Let's see if they've got what it takes to make it in the tool cabinets. You got to admit, that's oddly satisfying there, isn't it? All right, so let's talk about the packaging here. We got corrugated cardboard on the top and on the front side and the back side and on the corners there. I should say the top corners and the back corners. So all the critical components there are covered. We've got some extra cushioning there top to help protect that top lip. And of course the plastic wrap going around all the outside to keep it nice and shiny, keep it from getting scratched and whatnot. Man, in the sun, that color really pops. But let's get a closer look at it. And you gotta admit, when you start getting really in close on this thing, all the detail really comes through. This is a really precisely made cabinet. They didn't cut any corners anywhere. It doesn't have a ton of bells and whistles, but what it does perfectly. Now, there may be some issues. Okay, it's not all as sunny as it may be. The casters there, as a comment later, they're not sprung like they are on some of the other ones. Again, that's kind of one of those bell or whistle kind of things. If there's any one thing that really kind of irked me, it was this handle, because these edges here, they're actually kind of sharp, and this thing's a heavy box, so you got to weigh into that. You got to really use that handle to muscle this thing around. And if they put a little radius on that edge, it would have made it so much nicer. But it's a solid box. There's just no two ways about it. Nice thick mat on top of that. Then you've got this extra surface. So we're going to show this later. This is actually a double surface with a thicker gauge on top of a thinner gauge, making a very, very sturdy top work surface there. The whole box itself, just everything about it just screams, it's a tank. You know, use me, abuse me. It's not going to be a problem. Huge drawers, very smooth slides. In fact, we're going to talk about the slide mechanisms later, because they're not traditional slides in the manner that we would normally see them, mounted on the sides there. It's an undercarriage tray kind of compartment. Also here you see the locking feature to keep the idiots from dumping the box over. And you can see there exactly how deep this box goes, or I should say how deep the drawers are, how easily they slide out. They all come out 100%. We're going to step through each drawer here so you can see, they're all nice and uniform. They're all pretty much the same design. It's just the depth of the drawer that really changes. They have the inserts in them for the padding and whatnot. You get different varying size. You've got a 5-inch, some 4-inch, some 3-inch, and an 8-inch. The internal measurement's going to be about an inch shallower than that. As this is just a solid box. But let me show you that tray system I was talking about. This is, you pull it out here, and underneath you've got a bar that goes all the way across and integrates this full tray. So the whole drawer, rather than being attached to these slides and then bolted into the side, is sitting in this tray. And that's how they can get 400 pounds even on the smaller drawers. It's this trace, and it's super smooth. Okay, there you go. So before we go forward here, what I want you to do is go down below and tell me, do you think this cabinet's worth $2,500? I want you to comment down below. And then at the end of the video, I want you to reply to your own comment or edit your comment and tell me if that opinion has changed or what you think about it, okay? They're definitely great looking cabinets. Now, the one thing we have to say is, of course, Tekton, they don't make these cabinets. They're not USA made, and a lot of the stuff Tekton's trying to make these days is USA made. But this is actually made in Canada, so our neighbors up north, if it's not made in the USA, at least made in Canada is close enough, right? And they're made by Russo Metal. This is a company that's been around since the early 50s, and they've been making cabinets like this. I like that Argo motorized toolbox. That'd be pretty cool. But they've been making cabinets like this since the early 70s. So they have experience doing this. They're a tried and true manufacturer of tool cabinets, and they've partnered with Tekton to bring us, these cabinets. And I gotta say, the quality on it, I think, really comes through. You can really see the level of fit and finish on these products. There's no question that the people making this have been doing it for some time. But let's talk about the 40-inch here. This, as I said, is the 40-inch tool cabinet, 48 by 24-inch tool cabinet in red. And the price on it's $2,500. The prices range from $1,750 for the smaller 30-inch one all the way up to $3,450 for the 60-inch by 30-inch deep. People are always talking about like, oh, they're 20-inch cabinets. They're not deep enough. I need 24. Then you see a 24-inch cabinet depth, and they're like, that's not good enough. I need to see a 30. Well, you got it all here. You got no excuses. They're doing it all. But anyway, let's jump through it and let's look at some of the details on these cabinets. Well, as we talked about, a 48-inch wide by 24-inch high at a height of 42.5 inches. Now, that's going to be a little bit higher than your standard tool cabinet height, but that's, again, you're going to see that because of the wheels that are involved here. You get 7 drawers. Max drawer load is 400 pounds each, and they achieve that because of the tray system that we showed you before. Total storage capacity is about 21,000 cubic inches. There's a lot of storage in this bugger. Caster count, of course, we got 4 casters on this, 2 fixed, 2 swivel. Each caster has a load capacity of 900 pounds. In fact, the max load of the cabinet is listed at 3,600 pounds, but really that's the casters limiting this. I've heard it can go higher than 10,000 pounds when sat fully on the floor. Now, again, you're going to be limited, though, by the tray system there, the sliding mechanism to 400 pounds each. So that is going to actually limit how much you can actually weigh. But if you had to stack stuff on top of it or whatnot, I guess you could. All right, moving forward, here's your full specs per drawer and everything here. 508 pounds total weight. It does weigh that much. The thing's a beast. Country of origin, as it says, Canada. And as we can see here, the height, or not the height of each drawer here, we got 5-inch on the top drawer. Then we got 3 3-inch drawers, 2 4-inch drawers, and a single 8-inch drawer there on the bottom. The trays are interesting, the layout on them. I reached out to them. I haven't heard back, but when I see this slotted kind of mechanism here, I've seen stuff like this before used for an organizing feature where you would have little plastic or steel trays that would slip in there. I haven't heard from them if they're going to be offering that or if that's what it's used for. Maybe it's just used for rigidity. I'm not sure. If you've seen this before, why don't you chime in down below. The internal 44 inches by 20.75 by 4 inches external. This is the top drawer we're talking about. Okay. Then you got to love Tekton's website, the way that they have all this. You can step through, you can get all the details over there. But we got 2 inches, we have 3 of these drawers, the 2-inch drawers, 44 by 20 by 2 inches. Then we got 2 of the 3-inch drawers. And then we got one, it lists as a 7-inch drawer. That's the actual internal height on it. 8 inches is the external. So the 3-inch, the 2-inch, and the 4-inch, those are the internal heights. How high? Because people are always talking about, I want to stand up some deep sockets, that sort of thing. Well, that gives you an idea if this is going to do what you need it to do. Now, let's talk about some of the features of the drawers. We talked about the lift anywhere handles. For me, I got to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it because I feel like when I grab the drawer, I don't really have my full paw on it because it wants, it moves as you're grabbing it. It's a small thing. It's one of those pet peeve kind of things. It's a personal, taste kind of issue. 100% clearance, so there's nothing hanging down in the drawer. If it clears the side of the drawer, it's going to clear the drawer all the way across. 100% extension, as you saw when we extended it. It easily comes out clearly, boom, 100% access to the drawer all the way. Very easy, I have to say. Next, let's talk about quality. Tested up to 130,000 cycles. I don't think they have some poor sap there actually pulling it out and testing. I think they put a robot up to that. But drawers are tested with over 200 pounds to over 130,000 cycles open and closed, which equates to opening the drawer 10 times a day for 35 years. Yes, they've tested this. And we talked about, again, 400 pounds in each drawer, and that's due, again, to the independent carriage system. So the whole drawer itself is independent, can just be disconnected from this, easily replaced, that sort of thing. I think this is a really great system. I don't know. Let me know what you think about it. As opposed to your standard slide system on the side, this seems to be it seems to be a smarter way of doing it. Now, this is the idiot feature or idiot proof feature. One at a time drawer system. This means, as I showed you in the video, you can only open one drawer. If you try to open the second drawer, it'll remain locked until you close the first drawer. Why is this important? Well, ask this guy why that's important. That's a lesson you don't want to have to learn the hard way. Drawer liners. I thought, I have to say, the mat on the top I thought was very nice. The drawer liners are decent. They're 1/16 inch thick PVC. They're more than adequate. They're nice. Of course, they're custom cut to fit in the drawers. Looks great. The central locking system, one lock, one key to rule them all. There's only one lock, one key in this system here, and it locks all the drawers. So, that works as designed. Now, and I mentioned this before, the rubber mat system. So the box itself, the steel housing, has 20 gauge on the top, but then they put a 14 gauge plate on top of that, and then the rubber mat is on top of that. So you have this whole thing integrated into it, which creates a really sturdy top working surface. I really like that. I wish there was a way I could tell you how sturdy this box feels. It is solid. Now the casters, I was a little disappointed in the casters in that they're not sprung. There's no spring mechanism to them. They're very heavy duty, 900 pounds each. The locking mechanism is super smooth, super easy to use. I've got the Icon box from Harbor Freight, and unlocking the wheels on that thing is a chore. It's not easy to do. Often you have to reach down and do it with your hand because they lock so tight. This one is much easier to manage. But it feels like they could have, like much of this box, it's very traditional in the style of boxes without a lot of the whiz-bang features that we see in a lot of the boxes coming out today. Now, how do you get this thing? Free shipping. Comes right to you. We live in kind of a weird street here, and it's kind of hard to get to. I didn't even know they'd be able to get it here. And the guy backed it right up. He had the lift there on the back, got it right down, right to the front door. It was super easy as far as delivery. Now here's the thing. We talked about the price, $250 or $2,500 on this, but you get 10% back in rewards. Remember, when you order directly through Tekton, you get the free shipping, you get the rewards. That means it's essentially, instead of being $2,500, it's $2,250 that, because you're getting that back, you can start lining your toolbox up with tools with that extra $250 credit. Now let's take a look at the entire line here. We're talking the 30 inch, the 36, the 38, the 60, and the 60 deep, let's call it. Because the nice thing about the deep one is it's double bank. I like the double banks. I like having small compartmentalized things. I know a lot of you don't. You like the big single drawer, so you have both options there. The height on these, the 30 inch, the smaller one, is gonna be smaller. Now, if you're looking for something to go at workbench height, that's the one to go with, because your standard workbenches are gonna be right around that 34 inch. But for standard toolbox kind of stuff in the shop, in the garage or whatnot, you're gonna want to go with one of the larger ones, surely. The depth, all of them are 24 inches except for the last one, of course, which is 30. The drawer counts, you can see right there, max load per drawer is the same across the board. There you can see the total storage capacity. It really jumps up. You start at 10,000, work your way on up all the way to 32,000. Caster height is 4 inches on the smaller box, 6 inches on all the other boxes. And that relates then also in the max load per caster. So that takes us down to 420 pounds on the smaller box. It really is a smaller kind of utility box. You're looking at 900 pounds per caster on each other of the other ones. So a max load on the smaller box of 1680, whereas on all the other boxes, it's the same. It's 3,600 pounds. Again, that's the casters being the limiting factor there. Now, the weight of the cabinet, these things are not light. Even that little box is 330 pounds. Then we could step up to 462 to 508 to the box that I got to play with here, 645, and the big boy there at 820. You are going to want to have a friend help you with this. This is not something you want to try unloading and getting off the pallet and stuff by yourself. It's a great way to damage your box. Max content load, 1350, what do you got? 3,138, 3,092, 2,955, and 2,780. Now you're like, why does the weight go down? Again, it goes back. It's the limiting factor of the casters. So you look at the max load weight of 3,600 pounds, and then you reduce from that the weight of the box itself because that's sitting on the casters. So a bigger box is going to have a lower max load capacity with those same casters just because it itself weighs more. That said, I still think you're going to be hard pressed to put 2,700 pounds in this thing. And then we're talking about the price from $1,750 all the way up to $3,450. Now, let's compare it against Snap-on because, of course, everyone has to compare it against Snap-on. You're looking at, again, some really relatively low prices compared to what the Snap-on boxes sell for. Now, I know there's always going to be somebody with a big fish story about, I got my Snap-on box for $10. That's great. We're all very proud of you. But the reality is the best discount on average that even large corporations get when they buy. I'm talking about like the airlines when they buy Snap-on boxes for their fleet mechanics and stuff. You're looking at 30% tops. Okay, you may find a dealer who's in a bad way and has to get rid of a cabinet, but that's like finding an open box item at Harbor Freight or something. That's not something you can count on. That's something you lucked into. So when you look at the realistic price, take the Snap-ons, knock 30% off of what you see there as far as the list price, and that's the best price you're going to get, not necessarily the price that you're going to get if you're not buying tens of thousands of dollars worth of tools from that dealer. All right. Now we got to talk about Icon because a year ago I reviewed the Icon cabinet. We've had it in the shop over the past year, and this is going to be the other big bargain discount tool truck alternative brand that's out there, and it's coming in at a similar kind of price point. We've got the 56-inch Icon there, 25 inches deep, roughly the same professional roller cabinet, but it's got the sprung wheels. It's got the power drawer, and it's got the power pass-through. Basically, what this felt like to me is the Icon feels like a box that is catering to the modern, younger mechanic who wants all the features, wants the power windows, wants the automatic transmission, wants the AC and the GPS and the full 9 yards. Whereas the Tekton is catering more towards the traditional, old school, more solid. I just want a box that works and I know is always going to work. I don't care about the whiz-bang features. I want something solid that I know is going to be around and is going to, and I don't have to worry about whether, there's going to be an electrical bug or this. I'm not saying that that's an issue. I'm just saying that that's the way some people look at it. In fact, one of the first things I thought about when I looked at this was it reminded me of one of the proto boxes that have been around forever. Here's the Proto Workstation Black 42-inch with 6 drawers. As I said, it's a no-frills, simple, it just works kind of cabinet. And that's immediately what I thought of. Now, as another one that I know somebody else is going to bring up, which is Strictly Toolboxes. And Strictly Toolboxes has their 55-inch, 25-inch deep, 12-drawer base cabinet for $18.95. And you could be like, well, look at this. I can get a 55-inch box. I can get the same depth. I get the multiple bank cabinets, all of that for less money. And yes, you can. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of strictly toolboxes. People ask me about this all the time. To me, it's a lower end professional, higher end DIYer box. And some of the reasons why is, first of all, anytime you have to have 6 wheels on it to support the cabinet, first of all, it makes it a pain in the you-know-what to move this thing because you have to do everything pivoting around that center wheel. Secondly, look at the slides. We got slides. These are more akin to what you'd see on like the US General. These are not high-end professional slides. And also, if you look at the handles, they are full-length grip handles, but they're not integrated into the box like you see on a lot of the higher-end boxes. It's a flimsier construction there, and that's what I find that I notice a lot on the extreme toolboxes, the strictly toolboxes, is that they seem to be cutting a lot of corners. It's a good looking box. It will do the job. I'm not saying it's a terrible box. I know somebody's going to flame me. I've got this box and it's great. That's fine. We're all very happy for you again. But when you compare the two, this is like, driving a souped up Honda Civic, whereas this is like driving, a Chevy Tahoe. It's big, it's solid. It may not have all the cool graphics and features and stuff that the other one has. Whereas this is like driving a classic Mercedes. It's a solid tank. It's big. It's heavy, and in the fit and finish on it is immaculate. I gotta say, that is one thing that really came across to me, is the fit and finish on this is just on point. Anyway, if you got any other questions, anything else you want me to check in on with Tekton about this, let me know down below. Put them in the questions in the comments. As I said, my buddy of mine, he's a plumber who's also got a side business where he restores MGs, and this is going to work in his shop. We're going to help. I'm going to help him get it set up probably this weekend. And, I'll get some more feedback from him about how he uses it, what he thinks of it. Maybe we can do a follow-up video once he gets it set up, and we can take a look at how he's using it in his shop. Anyway, that's all the Bear has for you today. Till next time, you all take care, God bless, and as always, shine on.